everyone, it is Bizarre Individual here, and today I'm very excited to talk about these two series that I read. This is going to be episode 2 of reading my childhood shoujo favorites. As I said in the last episode 1, I talked about how when I first started collecting manga and getting into anime, the people that introduced me into this huge hobby that is now taking over my life, they mostly read shoujo manga, so that's why a lot of the titles when I first started were shoujo. But yeah, so let's just get started. Last episode I read volumes 1 and 2 of Peach Girl, so I talked about that already, and then I wanted to definitely make this video earlier before I read so much, but yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. So yeah, let's just dive in and see what happens. So like I said, the premise of this is this chick right here named Momo is crushing on her childhood friend named Toji, and Toji said in the past that he doesn't like tan chicks, and so she does everything in her power to kind of keep herself out of the sun, but she's just kind of naturally tan, and she tans really easily. She loves to swim, but she kind of doesn't want to do the swim team because she's trying to get with her childhood crush, which as we learn later on that he never said that. That was made up by a chick that was jealous that wanted Toji to herself. But anyways, so Sei has a frenemy that acts like her best friend and kind of is the only chick that kind of puts up with her because all the other chicks are jealous. High school, and so she kind of like forms a friendship with this chick named Sei, but she knows that Sei is not good news, that pretty much every single time that she says that she wants something, Sei copycats her and goes and gets it. So she knows that she cannot tell Sei about having a crush on her childhood friend Tojo. And so Sei, of course, finds out and goes after Tojo. And the first spoilers, kind of hard not to talk about it without spoilers, but the first 5 volumes were fantastic. I was really nervous going into this. I was scared that I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I did when I was younger. But the first 5 volumes I absolutely loved. I just think it was funny how over the first time when I was reading it, I shipped Tojo and Momo together like hardcore. Like I thought that they could do no wrong, and reading it now, I hated Tojo and I actually wanted her with Kylie. Kylie is pretty much portrayed in this series as a player. He kind of goes after, like, flirts with all the chicks, and I think the first time reading it, they kind of set it up to where the mangaka wanted you to like Tojo, and Tojo was like the good guy, and then they made Kylie kind of the bad guy. But reading back, the stuff that I hated about Kylie now doesn't bother me because, one, he's allowed to play because he's single. He's allowed to flirt with whoever he wants to, as long as he just doesn't get into a relationship. So, like, rereading it back, I could not stand Tojo at all for all the stupid stuff that he does coming up as what I'm about to talk about. But I just kind of wanted to go over the first 5 volumes were amazing. Absolutely love them. And then we got to volume 6. So, like I said previously, Sei will do anything to pretty much ruin Momo's life because she's jealous. But in volume 6, she went to the extreme of they kind of both join a modeling agency, which I kind of hate that trope in shoujo. I feel like if it's the main plot of the story, then I don't mind it at all. Like if I'm going into it knowing that, but if they randomly add that these chicks are going to go take pictures or go act in a show or something like halfway through the series, I feel like it's kind of trying to just take up some chapters or something. And I noticed that it happens in a lot of shoujo manga, and I don't like it. So anyway, so they do that, and Sei, of course, steals the spotlight and becomes a model. Mo, like, I think models for like a second, and then she kind of just kind of dies off. But yeah, in volume 6, Sei meets this model that like falls in love with, he falls in love with her and will pretty much do anything that she wants, and doesn't realize like how toxic of a person that she is. Turns out that Sei goes to the extreme, spoiler warnings to anyone that hasn't read this series, and doesn't like spoilers, which I'm weird, I don't mind spoilers, but anyways, goes to the extreme of drugging Momo and getting her boyfriend at the time, or he thinks that they're dating, to sleep with Momo. So, and make her lose her virginity at the same time as Sei is seducing Toji and pretending to be Mo. Like, she turns out the lights, she wears the same perfume that Momo has, wears a wig. Luckily, Tojo in time actually sees that, like, notices. My dog is making weird noises in the background, I apologize. But, yeah, so after this volume, I wanted to throw the book against the wall. Like, I absolutely hated it. I wanted to burn it. Kind of funny joke now, but I actually had to rebuy these copies because my parents didn't like me having a lot of stuff, but they didn't like me having pink, so they burnt these at my old farm that I grew up at. I grew up really religious, so I was like, well, now I know why they burnt them. But anyways, it was just kind of like a joke. It was funny, but anyways, but yeah, so this volume, so many things wrong with it. So the nurse, the school nurse that's all the way through this, that's kind of like, is kind of like a friend to the kids that helps all the kids out, went to the hotel room after Mo gets raped. This series gets so just dark, so fast too, because it was just like so high school and just so drama high, and then just went dark in this volume, and I hated it. And of course the nurse would be the voice of reason because she's older, but she's like, Mo, you need to go get checked out, whether you want to report this or not, like, we're running out of time, you need to go. And then Mo's like, oh no, I'm just going to put it behind me and black it out, which was stupid. So anyway, so then to make things worse, I guess do unto others as you have them do unto you, which is not correct. They pay someone to pretend like they're doing the same thing to Sei, Tojo, and Mo and Kylie pay to get back at Sei, to be like, Sei, this is how it feels. Turns out they put Sei in the wrong room, so they have to go rescue her, which that was a bigger deal. And then like the following like 2 volumes of this, Sei does something awful that I kind of couldn't even really like pay attention to, because I was just so like upset with what happened in volume 6 that I just couldn't really like overlook it at all. But so Sei pretty much took pictures of them sleeping together, or like of Momo naked, and says that if Tojo doesn't date her, then she's going to blackmail Momo and show all the pictures so Tojo doesn't like is in love with Momo, doesn't want that to happen, so he agrees to date her. Doesn't even, just breaks up with Mo, doesn't give her the time of day to explain, nothing. Which I think if he explained the situation, they could have probably worked something out. So anyways, at this point, I'm absolutely, completely and totally over, completely and totally over Tojo, and just done with him completely. I'm done with Sei. I absolutely hate Sei. So what I thought was really, really neat is that normally, like, sequels don't do as well. So I was kind of like really kind of nervous about reading Change of Heart. And I think the reason why I didn't like Change of Heart as much the first time that I read it is because she ends up with Kylie, which Kylie has always been kind of, even though like he flirts with her and he like is kind of like a player, he's always been there for Mo. Like whenever Mo was crying, he's been there. He's been like a listening ear. He's been in the background. A couple times Sei wanted to work with him to split Tojo and Momo up, and he was like, nope, if I'm going to get Momo, I'm going to do this fair and square. So I really, really appreciated his character. I do not know why I didn't like him the first time. He is best boy, hardcore. But I just loved this transition. Of course, in Japanese, it was volumes 1 through 18, so there wasn't a Peach Girl and there wasn't a Peach Girl Change of Heart. It just continued on. But just where she went from one person to the next, I was really worried about that like transition, and it definitely just, I really enjoyed it. Definitely just was really smooth is what I'm trying to say. It did a really smooth transition from and they actually took their time to get to know each other. It was just really cute and sweet. He didn't rush her. It definitely showed like her having general feelings and starting to have general feelings, and you saw the progression of it, and it was fantastic. And I absolutely loved it. And then of course, we have in Peach Girl Change of Heart, other drama happening with other characters and people from Kylie's past that I will save for episode 3. But yeah, so this was just a wild ride, and I am really glad that I reread it. And yeah, so let's talk about Hot Gimmick next. But yeah, what freaking trash this was right here. I'm not going to be able to pronounce names through it, so I apologize. I'm the worst reviewer ever. But I'll just like go ahead and try to pronounce the name like one time for you, and then the rest I'm just going to say this girl, that girl. So it might get a little bit confusing, but I apologize. So this chick right here named Hatsumi, she pretty much, her sister came to her and said that she thinks that she's pregnant. So her younger sister, keep in mind, says that she thinks she's pregnant, and if she would go see if she could go get a pregnancy test for her to see. And she of course goes and disguises herself and goes in all like embarrassed and stuff, and she doesn't want anyone to know that even she's going, because if the apartment complex that they live at finds out, that they could be evicted, because I don't know why that would matter. But anyways, so of course when she thinks that she's all clear and turns out that her younger sister is not even pregnant, this boy, which is the son of which his name is Ryoki, and Ryoki's mom is the owner of the apartment complex that her family lives at. It is I believe it's her mom, her sister, and her brother all live there in her apartment complex. And then he lives on, of course, like the top of the building the suite, the huge one, with his mom. And so he finds out, and he's like, I'm gonna tell my mom that that your sister needed a pregnancy test and she's sleeping around and stuff, which will not look good. And because she accidentally blurts out that it's not even for her, and it's for her sister by accident. And then she's like, oh crap, why did I say that out loud? But he just kind of, you know, scares her, so she didn't mean to. But anyways, so he's like, well, I won't tell if you become my slave and I can practice sex with you. So that's the start of Hot Gimmick. Okay. So it gets worse. It gets worse, I promise. It gets so much worse. I'm only going to tell you, I guess, up to volume 3. I guess I could go further. But anyways, so a famous actor, model, childhood friend of hers that she had feelings for growing up comes back to stay at their apartment complex. And of course, she has a crush on him, and they start going out, and she doesn't want to know, and she doesn't want him to know about their little slave relationship going on. So anyways, it turns out that he hates her family to, like, the core, because her dad broke up their family by having an affair with his mom, and his mom actually died waiting for her dad to come, like, visit. Some crazy messed up thing, which yeah, it was kind of sad. I kind of felt bad for her. But anyways, so he wants revenge, and so he pretends to date her. And of course, he's always lurking in the shadows. So they end up coming together to his studio place, which was not planned at all, but he's like, I'll take it. So he invites his modeling friends to, brace yourself, to gang rape her, so he can video it and send it to her parents to get back at for ruining his family. This was just in the first 3 volumes. So anyway, since he's there, he's like, well, I guess I'll give you the first go. So for them to sleep together, it's a mess. It is a mess. So they do end up escaping, and this guy right here is like, well, since I, you know, rescued you, then let's sleep together now. And she's like, well, I mean, why not? I about got raped by 5 guys, or 4 guys, I think 5 or 4 guys, does not matter. What's just by 1 guy? And he's like, what do you mean? This is a completely different situation. She's like, no, it's not. I don't want to sleep with you, so it would be considered rape. And then he's like, what? And yeah, so there's other stuff going on in the background that is actually quite entertaining, that I'm actually really enjoying reading about. I just can't kind of get past that first little bit. But so pretty much her brother has feelings for her, and yeah, so there's that going on. So there's other drama, family drama going on in the background. He actually moves out because he can't stand to not confess his feelings for her. So he actually moves out, and he actually knows a lot more about what's going on. I apologize for my dog in the background. She is asleep. But yeah, about what's going on with this. So he knows a lot more about the affair since he was older, and he can remember more than when the 2 sisters were younger. But yeah, so that was a mess. but so far I am enjoying my shoujo trash journey. And thank you for listening to my rant. But I'm really having fun with this. I'm having a lot of fun going back and rereading these. I'm excited to start Mars, but of course I want to finish this first. I'm buddy reading Peach Girl with Shojo Manga, so I'm kind of reading that kind of really like kind of slowly because we're both reading so many other things. I kind of put a pause on reading Hot Gimmick for now, and I'm kind of reading other things as just to give myself a little break, but I'm halfway through volume 6 now. But anyways, I really hope that you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in episode 3. I will link episode 1 down below, and hope you all have a nice day and are safe. Okay, and quickly, I just completely forgot to say my thoughts of how I used to think of Hot Gimmick and now how I think about it now. So I think reading it the first time, I was so caught up into the drama of not ever experiencing like anything like so much going on at once that I was just so enthralled. And I wanted to just keep reading that I didn't even really think about how awful stuff was going on. Just this was like my first, not my first shoujo, but like one of my first mangas that I ever read. I didn't really have anything to compare it to, so I didn't realize like all the sexist, all the can't say it, problematic issues that this manga has. So reading it the first time, I was just like, my jaw was just dropping and I was just like, whoa. So yeah, so I really enjoyed it. This time around, I am enjoying what's going on in the background. I'm still kind of shocked with what's actually happened, and I kind of hate it. I kind of hate Hot Gimmick with a passion. But I am still intrigued enough to go on with it, to like play it out. Yeah, so we will see. I will update you guys on the next 7 volumes coming up in the next one. So yeah, but that is my thoughts, and yeah.